Some of the shit that came out in the trial, though, like he's forcing his girlfriend to have toots while he was sitting there jacking off with a bandana on. She'd rub the jizz on his. Like, what are we even talking about?
This story isn't a rumor. It's not a theory. This is real courtroom testimony, and the moment Joe Rogan walked into that courtroom, everything changed. Known for being the voice behind the world's most popular podcast, Joe didn't show up with jokes. He showed up with evidence. And what he revealed could destroy everything Diddy has built. When Rogan took the stand, the courtroom went silent. No one expected him to show up. Not the press, not the judge, and definitely not Diddy. Rogan had a slim black journal filled with accounts from years of podcast interviews, conversations that never made it on air. People were scared to talk, so they came to Joe, trusting that he wouldn't cut their stories when the truth got too dark. And then the first bombshell dropped. Back in 2023, Rogan spoke with a former security guard for an A-list artist. Off-air, this man claimed Diddy kept files, videos, audio, even physical evidence, stored in a secure server room at his Miami mansion. A bunker. Inside, there were tapes, lots of them, and not just of random people. We're talking celebrities, politicians, executives, all caught on hidden cameras, many of them filmed without their consent. That's what this witness called leverage. Rogan said those parties weren't just wild. They were dangerous. People were blindfolded. Phones were taken away. Guests were filmed through mirrors. And this wasn't some once-in-a-while thing. It was a pattern, a ritual, and people knew about it. Jay-Z, LeBron James, even Jennifer Lopez. They may not have taken part, but according to Rogan, they knew. The courtroom was in shock. Then came the tapes. Rogan submitted audio to the DA, recordings from his podcast archives, verified by forensic teams. These weren't just anonymous whispers. These were real people talking about real events. Joe said, "I've had Navy SEALs, CIA whistleblowers. Even they didn't describe anything this disturbing." He spoke about a music producer who once attended one of Diddy's parties. What he saw left him traumatized. Cameras hidden in smoke detectors, drinks being spiked, celebrities pretending not to notice. Another guest described a man in a mask being paraded around like a pet. Some even said they were told, after the party, "Let's keep this between us," followed by silence, or worse, threats. Joe read from notes. He quoted one guest who said, "Diddy called it leverage." It gets darker. A former yacht crew member contacted Joe anonymously. They thought they were hired for a music video shoot. But once the yacht left U.S. waters, everything changed. Curtains closed, private rooms locked, guests rotated in and out every hour, security everywhere, cameras in the mirrors. Some staff were asked to spike drinks. Some refused. Others didn't. And here's where it gets dangerous. One guest, a last-minute addition, refused a bribe to stay silent. 2 weeks later, his apartment was broken into. Only one thing was taken, his hard drives. Joe didn't stop there. He told the court about something called Diddy's Church. That was the nickname for the secure server room in Diddy's house. Air-gapped systems, armed guards, and inside, the black box, encrypted backups of everything. Rogan said if even one of those tapes gets played in court, half the industry is finished. He even got warnings, emails telling him to stop talking, threats that came from PR firms linked to Roc Nation, but Joe didn't stop. He couldn't. He talked about a folder called the Rainy Day File, stored off-site, backup footage that could bring down careers or even governments. One file, according to a source, featured a powerful politician. Joe didn't name names, but the courtroom didn't need a name. The implication was enough. This wasn't just about Diddy anymore. This was about an entire system built on silence and fear. Rogan made it clear. He didn't care about getting sued. What he feared was what would happen if people kept pretending this wasn't real. He looked at Diddy and said, "If you're innocent, let them search the basement, open the vault, release what's in the black box." By the end of his testimony, Joe Rogan wasn't just a podcast host anymore. He was a whistleblower, and the courtroom knew it. His words carried the weight of years of secrets, protected by NDAs and hidden hard drives. Joe finished with one final statement. If even one kid is saved from stepping into that nightmare, then all of this, every threat, every silent producer, every risk, was worth it. He stepped down. Diddy didn't even look up. And just like that, the trial was never the same again.